We're James and Dawn.
And this is Mary. And this is our van called Beut. She's a 2014 Mercedes Sprinter that over the last 9 months we have self-converted into our little tiny home on wheels.
She has got a 600 amp hours of lithium Litre 4 batteries. She has 525 watts of solar. She has a 60 amp DC to DC charger and a 4000 watt Sinewave Inverter.
Making her fully electric.
And fully off grid. And this is our VANTOUR! These are the first addition to the outside of our van. They're a 12 volt light bar. One just above the license plate and one just above our cab. They're both linked into our starter battery and we've got 2 switches by our steering wheel. We wanted to do this because we see ourselves going off to far and interesting places where you have to go down rugged roads, and we want to make sure we know where we're going at all times. It's the first awesome addition to our van. The second one is we lifted the van by 50 centimetres. That's from a company called Blackrock Outfitters. Really cool system. So effectively it just puts a piece of aluminium and it extends the chassis up by 50 centimetres. And then we have these awesome Maxxis worm drive tyres that were gifted to us by the company after we explained the round the world travels that we hope to do in Beut. Now we did try and look at four-wheel drive Mercedes Sprinters, but there weren't that many in the UK, and from our research, by lifting the van and putting these all-terrain tyres on, effectively it does the same thing, get us where we need to be and we won't get stuck anyway. I'm a bit security conscious, some would say. My wife would say too much. But
My wife,
these security cameras that we've got from Traffic Angel. So we have 360-degree view of the van at all times. They are infrared, and they also allow us to check on Beut through an app. We have one just above the cab. We have 2 either side of the doors looking down on the van, and then we have one facing the back doors. It's especially good for me because hopefully it means that I'm not going to crash into anybody or anything. And even when we're not near the van, because we can look on our phone, we can hopefully just keep a watchful eye on it. So the next addition we got is a spare Maxxis worm drive tyre light on the back, which is handy for if we ever get a puncture. Linked to this wheel rack. Pretty cool design. You just screw through the original brackets and bolt it and tighten up, and that's what secures this to the van. The next one was these. Now initially Dawn was all about stealth. The van's got to be stealthy. Stealthy this, stealthy that. I was like, no, I don't want to feel like I'm living in a tin box. We got these done by a company called Van House, and they very kindly put these in for us. We are, let's be honest, we're novices. We tried to initially put this one in ourselves. Me and Dawn cut the hole. We thought successfully. It didn't fall out. Brilliant. However, it started to leak like a sieve. So then we decided to go to the professionals. They had to smash our window because they couldn't actually get it out.
because we did it so well, James.
We very kindly installed this one and made sure it was leak proof, and we've had no issues since. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is these bad boys. I had to negotiate, some would say plead, promise to be nice to my wife for
Dawn!
So when we initially bought the Sprinter, we didn't think that this was going to be an issue, because in the Sprinter, when you're designing your bed, you can go lengthways or you can go widthways. If you go lengthways, you can potentially lose about 1.5 foot out of your living area, which we weren't really that keen on. When we initially did the van, we didn't have these installed, but when we started to sleep in it full time, I was kind of hogging, or may have been hogging, most of the bed.
You were diagonal.
I was diagonal, and let's put it this way, it was putting a significant strain on our marriage. And I was sleeping like a hobbit, which again...
No, I was sleeping like a hobbit.
You were sleeping like a hobbit, and I wasn't able to stretch my legs out. You bond these onto the side of the van, and then you have to rivet them to make sure, obviously, they don't fall off and they're waterproof.
We didn't do these, did we?
But we didn't do these. You're right, Dawn, we didn't. They were done by a company called Cooper Car and Commercials, who also spray painted Beut. Because initially she was white and she was looking a bit tired, a little bit worn. So the guys at Cooper did a fantastic job of spray painting the whole van.
They also took out the big dent.
And they also took out a big dent. The big problem with Sprinters is they have loads of little holes which these stick into the side of the van. However, water sometimes can creep down and then you get loads of rust behind this plastic panel. So what we did is we sprayed the underside of this in Raptor paint. Because once Raptor paint sets, it creates a waterproof, really strong, tough exterior. And so yeah, we definitely recommend it. And we also did use that on the wheels as well. As I said, I'm very security conscious, so another security gadget I put on the van is something from Maple Fleet Services. So what they've done is provide us with a solution called Bomb Lock. Now it's an upgraded version of what most people have in their vans called a slam lock. So you use this little fob, put it there, it clicks open, and then it enables you to open the door. So you've got this piece of metal which is riveted to the van, and then you've got another one here which is, I guess, where that connects into this, and it effectively stops a thief or would-be assassin from being able to pry the doors open.
I'm sorry, assassin?
Yeah, assassin. I'm going to go with assassin. Look, this is a very highly prized van. I can imagine many assassins would love to. And hopefully it's just making those thieves' lives a little bit more difficult to get into our van.
And it's on the side door too.
Oh, and it's on the side door, yeah. You're thinking, James, have you done anything on the cab? Trust me, you're in for a surprise. So this is something that we found online, and it's called a Heo lock. Now, even if people were to try and prise these door locks off, because they're very flimsy, this door physically won't open because it's attached to this pillar of metal structure of the van. Me again, guys. I promise you very soon you're going to get to see Dawn's face rather than my ugly mug. And this is the last thing that Maple installed for us, was a ghost immobiliser. So again, it's an upgraded version of the factory OEM system that you'll get on the Sprinter. And effectively, you have to put a certain code into Beut for it to start.
Are we going to tell them the code?
No, we're not going to tell them the code, but it takes a... What are you doing? The next one is this bad boy. It's called a pedal box, and it's from a company called TVL. Now, all of the main security things that we've got on are electrical. So we wanted to get this, which is a mechanical option, where it effectively goes around the pedals, you secure it in place, you lock it closed. So you get into a van, great, but you're not going to be able to drive it off because you can't get in this.
Oh, hello there. Right, so now that James has spoken to you all about the, security and all the other things that we've done on the outside, let me show you the inside. Come on in. Are you gonna come on in? So, first and foremost, the first modification that we made was in the cab area. So both of the seats are actually able to swivel around. We did this so that we could create kind of like a semi-proper living area, and we really like to socialise, so we were imagining, pulling up at a campsite or pulling up at some remote location, starting a fire and having everyone inside and just, singing songs together and anyway.
Oh my god.
So we actually did the design where we actually thought Did we want the cab to be as part of the living area, as part of the van, or did we want it enclosed? We understand obviously the pros and cons, the pros being that if you did close it off, it would feel more like a home and less like a vehicle. However, for us, not only is it that you get the benefit of the extra 2 seats and the extra space, but it was also a case of, you know, if we were in some remote location or even in a city centre, we wanted to be able to have easy access to the driver's seat and basically be able to just leg it if we needed to. Other thing is, when it's raining, we don't have to get out of the van to then get back in. We're already here and we don't have to leave the van. So that's the reason why we kept the cab open, and I really like it actually. So I am now working part-time, and this is such a lovely location for me to sit and do my work. So my laptop fits here, my mouse is here, I can put my drink here, and it's awesome. And even if I'm working, we can open this door and I get to see the most stunning views.
But we like it as well because of social butterflies, right? We like to have people, so we like this area as well, don't we?
We do, we do. We are social butterflies. I'd like to hope that if you did see us on the road, you know, you'd want to come in, have a coffee, have a beer. We've got a stand right here. So the other thing, bearing in mind we wanted the cab to be part of the living spaces, we installed this step, and it was using the same wood that we've used pretty much throughout the kitchen, etc., to kind of bring everything together. And the step kind of makes it less of a segregation of a cab and a living space, so it kind of blends it in a little bit. So we really like the step. And then the other things that we did, some of you may or may not know, but Sprinters don't have a very good kind of, you know, panel area, and we really wanted to have obviously a sat nav of some sort, and we like Google Maps the most. So we installed this Pioneer thing. Anyway, it allows us to have Apple CarPlay. We'll put the link to the specific one that we actually bought. What else did we do in the cab? Oh, my mirror. As you can see here, I've installed a mirror because, you know, Sprinter vans don't really tend to think about things like that, so that's really good. My makeup goes up here, so I tend to do makeup and moisturising and stuff like that whilst we're on the road as I'm trying to like, find the next spot for us to go to. Over here, you know, it's crucial now to have hand sanitizer. My little purse for all of the tolls that we have to pay for. As you will see here, this is my handy little hook that I have, which is really great. So we have little tiny bin liners that we get to basically have, and it's just really nice to be able to hook it on here and put all of our rubbish in. It's not just floating around everywhere. I think it's such a small space and it can easily get messy, but that's worked out really well. Put all the links in the description below. If there's something that we don't know the name of, we'll have it down below. We also installed the upper head shelf. We installed basically the piece of plywood all the way through, and it was quite difficult to actually get the curvature correct. Managed to do that finally, and then we cut the current mould that was in place and then recarpeted the whole thing into one seamless piece, which I actually really love. I love the fact that you can't tell that this was two separate pieces. And then the next thing that we did, which I think is really handy again for the dark nights when we pull up somewhere, are these two spotlights that we don't need separate switches for. They are just touch sense and we can turn them on and off. So the great thing about the head shelf is that it provides us with loads and loads of storage space. We decided not to put a door on it just because it's just another door to access and it kind of would hit each other. So we fit everything in here, nothing ever really falls out. We've got the blinds, rucksacks, heaters, my bags, towels, a lot of things fit in here. In fact, my work big screen is up there as well in case I ever need to use it, which I have actually done outside when I'll stop talking. Anyway, so moving on, we really wanted it to be sociable. We wanted to have a lot of living area so we could move around each other. And the other thing when it came to the design is that we wanted to have zones. So this is the living area, this is the kitchen, over there is the bathroom, and the bedroom is almost kind of closed off, so that we can kind of be able to get away if we need to. So if I'm working, I can work, and James can still, I don't know, have a lazy morning if he wants to, if he's been working, etc. So that's kind of how we did it. Understand that a lot of people like to keep the van very open, but I think we wanted it to be kind of a smaller version of an actual home. So the good thing about this couch is that obviously it sits about 3 to 4 people. So when we've got those 2 seats turned around, then we can potentially have 5 to 6 people here. Haven't tested it out. I think we've tested it out with 4 people. And we've got another table here that we're able to put out, and again it's on a lagoon style mount. But the good thing about the couch is it actually pulls out. It's just under 6 foot. So we kind of could use it as a spare bed if we had any guests. You know, does anyone want to come visit us? This side here is on a heavy duty slider. How much is this side weight?
A lot. Why don't you try it out?
No.
Try it out.
No. Oh.
Come on, you have to try it out, man.
Well, we do sit on this quite a bit. You can just sit on here like a little chaise lounge and look into the oven to see how your pizza's cooking. It's all great. It's just slightly smaller than a double, so you just have to huddle up together. But more importantly, we use it quite a lot when we kind of bring it out half the way. It just means we get to put our feet up on
And
the
have our cinema night.
Yes, we do have our cinema night. And that brings me up to our next big thing. Oh, hang on one sec. Right. On the point of cinematic movie nights, what we really wanted to do is, we don't have a TV here, but we wanted to have the ability to watch things on a big screen. So in here we've got our own little projector that plugs into the plug sockets that are in the back of the cabinet, which then projects onto
Wow, look at that.
I'll turn the light on, it's a bit dark in here now. But we absolutely love it, and I don't know, it's a really cool feature.
Yeah, so when we've got the couch out and we've got that down, it's just like
it's a popcorn making moment, really. And it's really easy to put back up again. Although, is it?
Yeah, just push it up.
Yeah. So other than the projector up here, we have a scale because I've been trying to be good and lose weight. We have books and maps and whatever else. We have some dry freeze area, which is mostly cookies.
James's snack zone.
Huh?
James's snack zone.
Yeah, which really doesn't really bode well with the scales on the top because, you know, I'm trying to be good, James. And this is James's electrical area. So really we've got things like battery packs, drone, which we like to call Patroni, keyboards, chargers, all kind of crap. So that's really good. And as you can see, all of the cabinet fronts are made with this material, again to just reduce the amount of weight that we're carrying, and we just wanted to do something a little bit different than all the wicker things that we've seen, even though I really love them. And similarly, I just wanted to have things that were soft so you didn't like, hit your head on the handles, so I just made these macrame handles, which are really nice, and actually they really go well with the button covers that I made for the back. That is pretty much the couch done with. Forgot to mention that we've got huge storage underneath the couch. The couch is 50 centimeters deep, and we both have, Mary's barking outside, so please excuse that. She just wants to get involved. But we have 2 drawers each that we both use to basically put all of our clothes in. James's drawer is a little bit more organised than mine. I kind of lob everything in. Moving on now to my favourite part of the van, which is the kitchen. I really love to cook, and we didn't really want to kind of have a little tiny worktop area. So I think end to end this is about 7.5 foot, and that's including this, which is a really lovely space that we can use. The reason why we did this was we would rather have a view when I'm cooking rather than a view when I'm you know, washing the dishes. I get sometimes that people have their sink here because you can take the nozzle of the tap over and have a shower outside, but in reality I don't think we'd ever do that. And also it means that we can have the window open at the side, and also what I haven't mentioned yet is all of the stuff that we've got on our ceiling. So first and foremost we have a Heki 2, which is a skylight, which is really good because it has a net fly thing and also a blackout thing as well. We also have a max air fan, which we can use both the remote control or actually initiate it on the fan. So it's really good actually, although a little bit noisy to begin with, because it has loads of settings, and also it can work in the rain. We have another max air fan in the bedroom, so when they're both on, one can be sucking air in and another one could be sucking air out, and it creates a really nice airflow. And I tend to use that and actually turn it on when I'm cooking, so it essentially acts like an extractor fan. And this is our induction burner stove. It's a 2-ring burner stove, but it does use a lot of electricity. So we do have a really good battery bank, so it does allow me to actually be able to use this. And also our amazing oven. We can reheat things like we would with a microwave, and it's so hot. We get to make really amazing pizzas. I've made a pie. Just awesome, I love it. The oven can get really hot. We didn't want to just keep it contained inside the cabinet, so we put it on a slider drawer. So we're able to pull it out just so that it's a way of emitting its heat, and it doesn't basically cause too much heat under the cabinet. But it's really cool actually, I really quite like it. So one of the amazing things that I love are these pans, again from Amazon I think, but the really good thing is as you can notice, none of them have handles, so really efficient with space. Same thing with my wok, no handles, and I'll show you that it comes with this little gadget. That means that I can create a handle on any of them. We have our little kettle in there. We have a NutriBullet, which I won't get out, but we do have it. This is our cutlery drawer, pizza cutter, world's best brother that Louise, James's sister, bought him. Wine stopper, which we'll probably never use. Cling film and all kind of good stuff in there. And all of the drawers are on double magnets, so hopefully, touch wood, we don't have any issues with flying drawers. And then the bottom drawer here, it's kind of a bit of a odds and sods drawer. We've got all of our plates, so ceramic plates on here again to make it feel like we're actually living in a home rather than in a motorhome. And I use these plate dividers just so that they don't rattle or break. We've got bowls, pan au chocolat, spaghetti, breadsticks, all the essentials. Oh, it's such a satisfying click. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 spotlights up in the ceiling, which is controlled by these switches. We also have some other spotlights underneath this cabinet. When I'm standing here, it casts a shadow onto the worktop, so we want to try and avoid that. So these are all touch sense, and it just eliminates everything that I'm doing, and it also creates kind of like a mood lighting. So if we didn't want to have this on, we could just put these on. It just creates a nicer environment. As you can see, we've got these little jam jars, or quite big jam jars actually. I think we saw this on Eamon and Beck's van. We've probably gone a little bit unhealthier version of theirs. I think theirs is like chia seeds and all the really good stuff, but we've got pearl barley, cereal, risotto rice, and obviously the most important one is Mary's dog food, which I really love the fact that she has her own jar. The other thing that we failed to mention is that dotted around the van are a lot of USB ports and plugs. And then if you move along, we have my favourite thing. We have a beautiful butler sink that I love.
Belfast sinks.
Butler sink. Oh, it's a Belfast sink. It's like a mini version, but it's such a good size for us. It's deep enough to fit quite a lot of stuff in, and as you can see, we saved the top and it fits really well and snugly, and if we do have dirty dishes, it just hides it away. Then this is the tap. I don't know why, but in all VANTOURs people do this. We have a tap that, you know, does this and does this and that.
Don't waste our water, man.
I don't know why people do this, but I do find it quite fun.
Yeah, stop wasting the water.
There you go. This is a recent addition that we've added. It's a typical IKEA thing. It just means that we get to hang our mugs up. Our chopping board can go behind it, and also this little gadget here, which is the perfect size for soap and our washing up liquid and sponge. We like to put this on here just so that it's got somewhere for all of our wet dishes to go on, and then we can dry them. One of the really cool things that James got for us. Do you want to?
I'll talk about it.
Yeah, let's swap.
We decided to invest in this water filter system from a company called Akuva. It's an ultraviolet water filter, and it eradicates, I don't know, like 99.9% of the bacteria that you're ever going to get. And you know, the cool thing about this is you actually know when it's working because the little light will turn blue. Most of the water system is underneath here. All of our water tanks are linked to these switches, so we can empty them from inside of the van, so we don't have to get under when it's wet and cold and crappy. And we can just flick a switch and it'll automatically drain through a 12-volt valve that we have attached to each of the tanks. So our IKEA bin, this thing is an absolute find.
So like I keep on saying it over and over again, and I'm really sorry, but we really wanted this van to be just like it would be at home. Obviously a little bit smaller, but still have the same creature comforts. One of the biggest things is that we like to eat, as you can tell. So we really wanted a really decent size fridge. This is an isotherm
130.
130 is actually deceptively large inside, and I don't think we have struggled. It's even got a decent sized freezer. It doesn't actually drain that much battery power that we thought it would. And then the other thing. So it's a really great usable space. As you can see, fits all of the cans up here, rices, flour, all that kind of stuff, and it's on a really good drawer slider, so you can just go back in. Like I was saying, we like to have zones. So this is the kitchen, but it is a kitchen slash bathroom because we don't have a separate sink in the bathroom, so we still wanted to be able to use this. So our toothbrush and toothpaste are under here, and also we have a full-length mirror here. And then come to the bathroom. There's a separate light switch here, and that allows basically two of the spotlights up here to turn on. These are waterproof spotlights. The walls are made from PVC interlocking panels. They were really lightweight to work with, and obviously we've done a little shelf here so we can put things here as we're in the shower. We've also put some hooks on, and as you can see as well, we've got the choice of both a waterfall shower or this shower here, which is really cool because it's got a button to basically stop the flow in case we are obviously conserving water, which we are most of the time. So the other thing in the shower obviously is our Blue Diamond composting toilet. Originally really liked this thing, it was brilliant, it could do what we needed to do. However, I think it's more of a case of if you're part-time van lifing, it's great, and it's a quarter of the price of the main composting toilet, but I think now that we've been on the road for full time, it's not very efficient. I won't go into too much detail. And then to close it off, this is our Nautilus self-cleaning shower door, which is really good. Again, it's really lightweight, it cleans itself, so we don't have to worry about any lime scale. Again, it partitions the toilet to the rest of the van. One thing you'll notice is there's a gap here because we don't have a separate fan in the bathroom. When we turn the max air fan on and we put the suction mode on, it's able to essentially act again like an extractor fan in a bathroom. Right, I think that does it for the main living area. Let's go to the bedroom. Hi Eddie. So, welcome to our bedroom. We've installed the bed quite high up for two reasons. One, so that Mary can't jump up on our bed when we don't want her to. 2, so that we have more room in the garage space for James's tools. So as James has already mentioned, we've had 2 flares installed on either side of the bedroom. We had to come up with a solution of how do we get these covered. We've lined it with the same material as we have in the living room, which essentially is the backboard cover, and I really quite like it, and we've kind of framed it so that it just looks a bit more polished and finished. James still encroaches on my area like he did even without the flares, but I've got a bit more room to manoeuvre. As I mentioned earlier, we have a max air fan, and my favourite thing in the bedroom is this amazing skylight. Even last night we were lying here because we're in the middle of nowhere. We were able to see the stars and it was absolutely amazing. Lock that up. We want to have an overhead cabinet above our heads. We didn't want to be obviously enclosed. So we do have one on this side, and again it's on the same hinges as the other cabinet, so it holds itself up. We don't have to kind of hold it whilst we're rummaging through. And this shelf is more kind of my bit. James has got his one box, bless him. We've also got our little picture. We bought this when we actually took the van out for the very first time, and we went over to Whitstable, which has a thing about oysters. They're renowned for oysters, and we just thought that was really appropriate. We have 2 lights installed in the bedroom on the touch centre, and they're really actually quite bright. And the good thing about these is not only are they 12 volts, so again use less electricity, but they also both have a USB port that we can plug our phones to charge whilst we're sleeping, or Kindles, etc. And speaking of Kindles, each one of us has one of these pouches on these hooks. James is on the hook on the door, and we fit all sorts of things in here instead of like having an extra shelf. So we have these amazing 12 volt fans. It may look small, but it's actually pretty powerful. And the good thing about these is that they actually have a battery inside, so when you're charging them you can then still have them running without them actually being hooked up to the power. All the things that I could possibly need here as well, and if we ever did swap sides, which we've done a few times, then it means that we could just quickly just change it up, and you know, we'd still be able to have all of our things accessible. Again, over here we have the max air fan remote control, which also incidentally remote controls that fan, so we can still access both whilst we're still in bed. So as you can see, little Mary's joined me again. So we just wanted to show you this little shelf that we've installed here. Gives us that extra bit of homeliness. We probably need to put another bit of wood here just to kind of finish it off. We've stuck these on by double-sided sticky tape so they don't go flying around. But yeah, they're really cool. This bed is actually a full king-size bed. We absolutely love it. And again, when we were coming up to the design, we were thinking, okay, should we have something that converts into a table or not? But I think this has been the best choice for us. We're a bit lazy in the mornings, and I can't see us turning things, even if it only took 2 minutes, I can't see us converting things into a... Mary, just stay here. Can't see us converting it into a table every day. Having these backboards and flares just has made it so much more comfortable. I couldn't really ask for better. I mean, I really enjoy coming to bed. Another thing that we forgot to mention, we have a 28 centimetre memory foam mattress. So it's like the bed that we have back at home, or when we had a home, so we don't have any compromises when it comes to our sleep, which is great. Unless you count this little madam waking us up every single night because she knows that we're here.
Right guys, so now I'm going to show you into the garage, or aka my man cave, my area. Dawn's not allowed in here.
It's ours!
Now, as you can see, because we're full time in the van, we've got a lot of crap. So I'm just going to take that out and then I'll show you inside. So the first is our sliding table. So this will kind of slide out, and on lovely evenings you can bring the table out, you know, have a beer, have some food, you know, chair there, and then we can put stuff on the top here as well. As you can see, we have an outdoor shower. So that kind of plugs in, that will kind of turn that way, and then hopefully it works. Oh yeah, that's right, look at that water pressure. Actually, I'm using too much water. So this will come here. Move this lovely blind that Dawn crafted.
Thanks, baby.
For that, hopefully.
Oh!
Oh yeah.
As you can see, we've not actually tried this out yet.
And there it is. Ta-da!
Are you gonna turn it on again? Don't turn it on! Don't turn it on! James, I swear to God, I'll divorce you. Stop it!
So tempted, I'm thinking, is the punishment worth the crime? And I'm thinking it is. So water infill, pretty standard.
Yep.
We have our Truma 14 litre water heater. All of our pipe work is John Guest push fit 15mm pipe.
Shout out to Josh.
Shout out to my friend Josh. You've got all the pipe work over there, which looks like spaghetti, a spaghetti junction. You've got the emergency drainage for the water. So, me and Dawn like to have a lot of sex.
Excuse me?
And I was thinking...
Do you want to just no?
Okay, me and Dawn make a lot of love. And I was just thinking, is wood going to be, you know, secure and sturdy enough for what we need it to do?
Why? Is it because we're vigorous?
And we're very vigorous, father. Of using aluminium 40x40 profile. Obviously it's really strong. So then you have these little aluminium corners that link into this and makes it really, really strong. On either side of the van we riveted in a L bracket, goes along the whole side of the van, and these aluminium profiles sit on either side of those L brackets.
Do you know what that is, James?
What?
That's riveting.
It is riveting. Very good. The idea was, if the water tank was to leak, we wanted to try and prevent any issues with the electrical system. So most of the main electrical components are on this first shelf, and all of the water things are on the bottom. Or there's at least a divider between the electric and the water tank. We have two 300 amp hour lithium batteries. We got them off of Alibaba, came up at around about £1,000. Now in the UK, it's typically £1,000 for every 100 amp hours that you wanted. And because we wanted to have a full electrical setup on the van, we needed a lot of juice. So we went with these two. Obviously they were cheap, so we were kind of thinking if they work great, if they don't, then we'd have to probably get something a bit more expensive. But on that option alone, we probably saved ourselves about £5,000. So our inverter is 4,000 watt Sinewave inverter, because we have a lot of appliances. Like we have our induction cooktop, so we needed a big inverter. Yeah. So then we've got a Blue Smart charger, which is a 30 amp charger, Victron Energy MPPT 150x35, and that looks after all of our solar panels. So on the roof we have 3 175 watt Renogy flexible solar panels. So we've got 525 watts in total.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. We've also got a PV DC isolator. So if we ever need to work on the system, we can stop any power coming down from the solar panels, so we can work on this safely. We've got a standard RCD fuse box here for our 230 volt stuff. I'm really proud of it. It took me a long time to put that in. And then at the back we've got our Lynx Power bus bar. It works out pretty good. It's really easy to install. So I'd probably recommend that rather than having fuses coming off every wire. But yeah, we're pretty happy with it at the moment. Our water tank is 150 litres, which is about 40 gallons. Got a light here that comes on. We've got a little LED light here and one there. We've got our shore power connector there. Dawn came up with these, genius idea. Basically for any bits of, you know, crap that we're not sure where to put, we can just stick them on in here. So we've got water shoes. Yeah, and as you can see over here, we have a few silicones. Some might say, are you worried about having a leak, James?
Yes, I am. And yeah, there you go. That's my man cave. We're leaving the best thing till last, in my opinion. I love this thing. We came across this, which is called the Moonshade.
Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video and keep watching for the bloopers. We have self-converted over the last... 2, 3. Hi!
We're Dawn and James.
I thought it was
Okay,
James
sorry.
and Dawn.
1, 2.
We're James and Dawn. This is Mary.
Fucking hell. James and Dawn.
This is Mary. And this is our van that we affectionately call Beut.
A compressor for it to sprite.
She's just done a wee in front of you.
Thanks, man. So, start again. The Raptor paint is obviously the final one. Hang on, can't be the right word.
Pièce de résistance.
Yeah. And finally, the piece de resistance.
Sorry, what?
The piece de resistance.
Pièce de résistance.
That's what I meant.
The thing that I love is my pantry. It's really cool because it's got a button to basically stop the flow down.
Did you fuck? What are you doing?
I didn't know it was on. How is that on?